we should just do this. I don't know. Is this it kind of feels like it should be a podcast. Is a Thursday night. I was going to make a video about all this stuff, and I realized it's going to go on forever. Editing it is going to be annoying, and most people will probably only watch 30 seconds of it. 10. Let's be real. I'll give you the long version, I guess. It could be a cool thing. I just got a notification. Sorry. Mr. Mendoza, freaking killer drummer. Mike Johnston put out like his shaker challenge, and then he did the same thing, like doing a clave, saying a clave. It's just really cool. Anyways, it's late. It's probably like 11:20. I'm tired. Yeah, but there's so much I wanted to talk about in this video, and been wanting to do a podcast, so maybe this is the thing. So I'm gonna record this long form. Who knows what'll happen, but here goes. A couple things that I've been thinking about over the last year is the biggest thing that comes to my mind is survival or surviving, and been thinking about it a lot, and that's what I've been doing on this instrument is surviving. That's really it. I'm not the world's greatest drummer. Some people don't have to work on their surviving skills. They can work on becoming better hunters or whatever, comparing it to hunting. But I really got to focus on it. Always have. You know, when I landed in Hollywood 20 years ago to go to MI, it was like, man, I was self-taught up until that point. So it was like, I got to survive this. I can't go home. So it was get good quick and barely get through lessons, you know, trying to keep up with people who've been playing or studying with, you know, proper teachers for a long time. It was really hard. Graduated after a couple of years. It was great. Learned a ton there, but then it was like, all right, I was in a band, and it was, you know, you're in LA with bands with huge followings. You know, we were an out-of-state band, so it was like, man, you're competing against people who went to high school around these huge venues or just were a little more trendy than we were. So survive, right? Like, put in the extra time, do the extra stuff to really get through it. And it was great. Got to do a bunch of shows, toured. And then it was, all right, now I got to get. Oh, I'm tired. Then it was like, get skills to join other bands or become like a hired gun, right? Because, you know, we all have that idea that our band's going to make it. But after a year or two, it's like, okay, reality sets in. So then it was, I started working on things to get me just a good gig, right? Like playing with metronome, backing tracks, playing solid, playing smart, cutting back on a lot of the things that I was working on just to play solid. I really had to focus on it. Like I said, some people don't. They're just like amazing or had a couple years ahead. Then it was, I really got into recording, you know? So it was like, okay, now completely different mindset as a session drummer. And as a teacher, I taught for 15 years. Oh, I shouldn't do this tired, but I want to get this off my chest. Basically, I had to focus on surviving to pay the bills. To stay in LA, to do all that stuff, I had to really put in a lot of effort just to maintain the chops to work as a drummer. And I did that for a long time. I started live streaming about 5 years ago when we were in LA, but fell in love with it pretty quick. I was doing a lot of remote recording at the same time. and teaching, and we decided to move to Pennsylvania, and I built the studio here and really went into live streaming and recording, and it's been great. It's been really cool. I love it. It's kind of wild. For those of you that don't know, I've been lucky enough to have some amazing people introduced, bring their communities over to mine. It's called a raid on Twitch. Some amazing, really big streamers brought some fantastic people to my stream. And there's some nights where it was like there's 20, 30, 40,000 people watching a stream. And that's kind of wild, right? But what I did was request streams. So people could come in, request a song, play it, everyone just have a good time, right? And about a year ago, the brakes were hit pretty hard for me. I make that sound terrible, but basically I was watching on Instagram, Carter McLean, a lot of Mike Johnston, those guys are super inspiring, right? And a lot of that stuff I can't, that wasn't on the cards for me play wise. I had to focus on a lot of the stuff that I was doing for stream or for recording, a lot of country stuff or rock, so I couldn't, I make these excuses, but just time, I got a family, all that too. So I couldn't dedicate just a ton of time to something new because all the free time I had to work, right? Had to put the roof over the head, food on the table. You guys know. But I was inspired. I'm like, I'm going to take the pillow out of my kick drum. And man, I did that. I had a Beta 52 inside the kick. Took the pillow out, take the Beta 52, and I put the stock head back on. So it's like a sonar, just a fiber skin, Remo fiber skin. So it was wide open. I had a clear Power Stroke 3 on there too, which is god awful with an open kick drum. But I did a stream with it. I'm like, I'm going to make this work. It's going to be great. It's going to be cool. It's going to sound just like real drums. And it sounded awful, right? Because I had it mic'd up and mixed for a inside kick thing, and so much it was just fighting it, right? But that made me realize there's so much I want to do on this instrument that I don't know how to do. And I've neglected so many things. One of those being actual bass drum technique, right? I was burying the beater with this kick drum thing off and trying to get it to work with a microphone that was, geared for inside the kick, but I have it outside and it was just compressed and I was picking up all this room. It was just a nightmare. God, it was awful. Phase issues. I think I had a condenser microphone on the outside too, so I had a dynamic and a condenser, because I'm oh, I see it in videos. I didn't know what I was doing. But my God, it was canceling each other out, no low end, ringing overtones. It was just awful. But it made me realize there's still a lot I had to learn about recording, right? And playing an open kick drum. I was playing heel up, bearing the beater, and I was like, man, I got to get better. There's certain things that I've just neglected over the years because I was like, I don't need to do that. I'm playing in a band. I'm playing, loud, or I'm playing on stream. I'm playing heavy. I gotta bring energy. But man, something awoke in me that I'm very excited about now. And it was the thing I was talking about earlier, survival. Everything I've done so far has been to get a gig, to get obviously money, right? So we can survive and keep doing the gig. But everything I was doing for the most part was for other people, right? Other people's music, other people's projects, or teaching other people, even on stream, playing song requests that I really didn't want to play, but the money was great, so it's okay, let's just do this. Let's go with it. And that's what I mean. Something changed last summer. Something kind of flickered in me of like, you know what? I've never, aside from when I first started drumming, that was, I think for most people, some of the most pure learning time ever when you're first with your instrument, because it's so naturally unnatural. You're discovering it, you're figuring it out, and it's really cool. But then you quickly realize, like, in order to keep doing it, you have to like mold yourself into certain things, right, to keep working. I'm going to be 40 this year, and I'm fortunate enough, I've been doing this a long time, and that I've got to see all kinds of aspects of it, and I'm ready for a change. Like, that's what sparked in me, was never really properly learned dynamics. Like, we've all learned dynamics, right? We can all probably play really loud, right? Like just blow the roof off of a place or make a stadium shake, and play quietest ghost notes ever, right? But everything in between that, I sucked at. I still kind of suck at it. I think most of the people I see online have that same problem, right? Like, it's either all in or really quiet, and there's really no in between. Granted, there's a lot of people that do have this dynamic touch, and it's just like unnatural, you know? But that's like that next level, right? There's that, for me, and this is what I realized. I've been playing drums so long that I've just maintained it to keep doing it. And I'm tired of that. I want to do more. And, you know, it's like, we all know we could do our own thing, but finding that thing is scary, right? It's like, God, if you really stop playing, and I'm talking, I guess, to just musicians right now, but, or maybe just drummers, but if you stop playing what you have to play and play what you really want to play, not that you know, certain things that you know, or certain things that, you know, maybe you've learned over the years that you could just like really play. But if you take time, and that's the thing, I think it takes time. I started this last summer, like setting up my drum set the way I really want to set it up. You know, I had chinas, crashes all over, splashes, and multiple toms. It was like, man, I really don't want that. I had it on stream because you never know when someone's going to request Incubus and then a Slipknot song. But when you really find out what, if, like, I don't know, I feel like it takes a while, and you really got to clear, you know, the brain and all the ideas. But certain things started coming out of me that I knew were always there, and it's really exciting, you know, to I don't know, I'm just, like I said, I don't know what I'm talking about or how I'm going to talk about it, but it made me, like, I started loving the feel of playing heel down on an open kick drum, a wide open snare, open toms tuned high, no mutes. Like, they felt alive. They were singing, and I was controlling it. This all kind of started last summer. But then, you know, I've been recording drums since 2009 is when I started my first remote recording studio in LA. And then with live streaming, you know, it's like the normal miking things, close mics sound awful when you do that. I shouldn't say that, but if you kind of mix it like a rock kit, and then all of a sudden you're ripping all the things off and wide open drums acting, ringing and singing, all this stuff. I'll listen back to this and be like, I shouldn't have recorded this when I was tired. But basically, I had to relearn miking. Actually, I shouldn't say relearn. I had to actually learn how to mic a drum set or an instrument that was singing, not just one that was going dish, boom, dunk, right? It's like, holy crap, this thing is ringing and singing, and it's got all this stuff going on. And I'll be honest, I was really inspired by drummers that I kind of overlooked for years. Like Mike Johnston, he's just a killer guy, killer drummer, great teacher. But man, his drum sounds, I'd listened to the Mike and Mike Modern Drummer podcast, and I remember being like, I only use 2 mics. I'm like, oh, he sucks. He doesn't know what he's doing, right? And then, but the more I would listen to it, I'm like, God, that's only 2 mics, and the drums sound real. They sound like amazing. And I was all about like the big boomy sounds, not, but like the rock drums. And I'm like, the more I thought about it, I'm like, drums don't sound like that. When I take my ears out, my drums don't sound like they do in my mix. And that bothered me, so I felt this disconnect from the instrument with my mix and not connected to what I was playing. So learning how to mic the drum set so it sounded like my drums in my room, in my ears, was super fun. And I'm still enjoying figuring that out. But that led me again to more just like, what do I want to play? What's going to come out if I don't have to play on this session? Or, I don't have to prepare a bunch of songs for this gig. I'm live streaming. That's my gig right now. And we got to still do that. But like, can we shift this to a direction where I can be really excited about it? Is it going to hurt viewership? Oh yeah, probably 100%. Most people that would show up to the stream, we're like, hey, play this cool song. Let's all enjoy, I don't know, Foo Fighters or something very popular. And now I'm like, hey, let's play a Muddy Water song. Not many people are going to be, sadly, super thrilled about that, but it's kind of cool. It's like, the more I thought about it, I'm like, you know what? The people that I want in my stream and the people I want to hang out with are the people that are going to just enjoy the same things I do. Instead of trying to make 1 million people happy, like focus on the ones that matter, which is really just yourself. And then I think you'll attract more people that way to what you're doing. So that's kind of what I've been doing the last year. And it's been really fun. Not going to lie. I'm in love with it. I'm going crazy with trying new heads, like just new ways to tune, new ways to mic, new ways to mix. I've been loving it. But it's also like to play. Jazz has always been this like thing that I studied in college. I was like, I had jazz, jazz drums 1 and 2, I think it was, the class. I passed it. I learned the comping. I learned basic jazz independence and phrasing. And I could hang in a jazz gig if I really had to. It'd be way not the best. But when I took that kick drum head off, it immediately was like I wanted to play different things. And it's been really, really, really fun to kind of not be afraid of jazz in a sense, or just certain things to play, not be afraid of them because I don't know how to play them, So what I'm getting at, let's talk about the future. This summer, is the kids are home, craziness, all the things. But streams are going to be, for me, just working on me, really getting my hands in check, the dynamics to be not just loud and soft, but like I want a full, I want that high end rolling with like 100 samples or whatever, I want to work on dynamics, but I have a really good understanding of them, not just on the snare, but with my feet, cymbals, connected to just like my breathing, being relaxed, posture, the things that we all kind of worry about. But then once we kind of get the gig and we got the parts down, we kind of go, well, I got it. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. but man, I'm not where I know I can be. So working on dynamics and control and being relaxed. But the other thing that I really want to, like, really do want to get a hold on, and I don't want to wait any longer. I put it off for too long, and because part of it is it scares me, is I want to learn jazz. I would, like, proficiently. We all kind of gravitate towards certain things when we're younger, and like I said, that first time when you're learning your instrument, it's such a magical time, but then you latch on to something and then you get steered, right? I listen to jazz a lot, always have, but sitting down to play it, I'm like, that's not me, right? And partially because of the way I had my drum set set up for 20 years, I had these heavy crashes and crazy rock rides and, coated emperors or clear emperors on toms, just doom, 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 chugging, and power stroke threes with pillows. And, like that's not going to sound good or be fun to play that stuff on. So you really got to change up the setup. So after, like I said, I'm telling you, taking that pillow out was like getting slapped in the face, but in a good way, a good slap. So people that follow me, or if you're part of the stream, and you've probably noticed, a big change in the way I operate the stream. I'm being more myself. Well, I've always been myself, but more like what really makes me excited about drumming and streaming. I love talking about this stuff on stream and helping people and going through it together, and that's one of the reasons I'm going to stream it. So yeah, that's what I'm getting at. And maybe we'll do more of these. I think this could be a podcast. I don't know. I want to be a part of the drumming community in a fun way. I know I do this thing in the corner on Twitch that most people don't really know about drummer wise. Most drummers live on Instagram or YouTube in the internet age. And it's cool. I enjoy it quite a bit. There's so many good players, so many cool things on here, on the internet. But most drummers, aren't going to Twitch for their drum fixes. So I know I'm in a weird spot. But I think I want to try something different. There's so many people doing song requests and doing the thing, and I'm just over it. I'm ready for something different. And essentially get better. So yeah, I'm not gonna edit this up. I'm gonna put it up, yawns and all. So I guess hang in to this space and we'll do some more. So thank you for letting me rant onwards, and I'll see you out there. Here we go.